The long wait was over on Tuesday as Malaysia's Sepang International Circuit reverberated to the roar of MotoGP engines with the first official test of 2014. And fresh from claiming the title in Valencia last year, as well as going fastest in the post-race test there, it was world champion Marc Marquez who set the pace today. The track temperatures dropped in the final hour and that allowed the lap times to come down as well. The Spaniard, who will celebrate his 21st birthday in just under 2 weeks' time, led the way with his lap time of 2 minutes, 0.286 seconds. There were movers on the timesheets in the final minutes. Valentino Rossi placed his Yamaha second, half a second down on Marquez, although as ever it's impossible to know what they're doing with the fuel loads. The Italian continued working with new crew chief Silvano Gabracera back in the garage. The formation continued with Honda and Yamaha occupying positions 3 and 4 as well, with Dani Pedrosa third. This year the RC213V features a bigger intake on the front of the bike there. It's all about increasing top speeds and improving the throttle response on the exit of corners, both particularly vital here at Sepang. Jorge Lorenzo was second until Rossi and Pedrosa dropped him down to 4th in the final minutes of the day. He also completed less laps than the 3 men ahead of him, 62 laps for Marquez, 61 for Rossi, 75 for Pedrosa and 47 for this man Lorenzo. Rossini's Alvaro Bautista was best of the rest behind those leading factory team riders. With Stefan Bradl's 6th for LCR and back riding at Sepang for the first time since he broke an ankle here in a crash during the warm-up session for last year's Grand Prix. Aleix Espargaro will make a few headlines tonight as he was the leading open rider on the Forward Racing FTR Yamaha package. Remember, all the bikes in the field are now running the spec ECU hardware for the first time ever, but these Opens must also run the spec software, but they can enjoy up to 24 litres of fuel as opposed to 20 for the factory option machines. Pramax's Andrea Iannone was 8th on his factory option satellite Ducati, and Tech 3 Yamaha completed the top 10. Reigning Moto2 world champion and Premier Class rookie Pol Espargaro was 9th, the younger brother of Aleix there. With England's Bradley Smith in 10th position ahead of his second full-time MotoGP season. Aleix Espargaro's teammate Colin Edwards hit technical problems, tiny technical problems in his words, during the morning, but would recover to 11th place in the afternoon. And meantime, Ducati filled positions 12, 13 and 14. Andrea Dovizioso led the way from test rider Michele Pirro, but the big talking point is whether they will be, as reported in the press, switching these machines to open regulations in order to take advantage of the fact that they would be able to make engine modifications during the season. That's as opposed to the factory option bikes, which will become subjected to an engine freeze rule this year. So it's Dovizioso 12th, Pirro 13th and Cal Crutchlow in 14th position as he makes the jump from Tech 3 Yamaha to Ducati. '15th was Yoni Hernandez, Iannone's teammate, although the big difference here is that Pramac has split the programme and the Colombian's bike is running to open regulations. And just behind him on the timesheets in 16th place was Katsuyuki Nakasuga, the factory Yamaha test rider. 2006 world champion Nicky Hayden made his debut with Aspar as they made their first track appearance with new title sponsor Drive M7. And notably, the American was the leading representative on one of the brand new Honda RCV 1000R customer bikes. Teammate Hiroshi Oyama here was only a further 9 thousandths of a second adrift and in 18th place. 19th was a familiar face on a not quite so familiar motorcycle as Randy Depunier continued Suzuki's development programme ahead of their full-time return to the MotoGP World Championship next year. With the top 20 being completed by Kazuki Akiyoshi with the HRC test team. On the second Grassini bike, but this one running to open rules, was 2013 Moto2 runner-up Scott Redding, ending the day in 21st place. And unlike back in Valencia testing, the Englishman is now fully recovered from a broken wrist sustained at Phillip Island last year. Vintia Racing field spots 22 and 23. Sabara was the first of them. Behind him on the timesheets, new French teammate Mike Di Meglio, and he's another man to have been recovering over the winter after a nasty crash at Brno in the Moto2 race last year. Australian newcomer Brock Parks here. He was 24th and the quickest of the two PBM riders this afternoon. This year the team is racing two of its in-house frames for both Parks and teammate Michael Laverty, who hit brake trouble and then an engine failure as well. Ioda Racing aren't here. They plan to make it out for the second Sepang test later in the month, which left Carol Abraham at the bottom of the timesheets. Testing continues then tomorrow at 10 AM local time.